When learning new tunes, improvisers are rightly concerned with finding the right notes that will fit with the chords, but compelling rhythms are just as important. I'm Bradley Sowash, jazz pianist and educator, and today we're going to be talking about strategies to find cool starter rhythms to boost your improvisations. So I'm going to do that in three parts here. We're going to first define the word appropriate, because this session is called appropriate rhythms. So we're going to figure out what that means. And then we're going to look at the actual strategies in the second part. And in the third part, I'll just leave you with some parting tips. So let's just start with a little jam. And I am going to employ some of the tactics that we're going to talk about, or strategies. Just have a little minor blues here. We're in A minor. And so here's the 4-chord, etc. And we'll let that go one chorus to get in the mood. I'll put some percussion underneath it too. 1, 2. All right, here we go. I'm going to use these strategies. Looking at my cheat sheet here to make sure I use these. All right, now I'm just going to let one roll. So there was some actual cerebral rhythms that I pulled out of my bag to make sure that I had a good quiver full of rhythmic arrows, if you like that metaphor. So if you're just joining us, I'm Bradley Sowash, jazz pianist and educator, and today we're talking about finding appropriate rhythms. So let's have a look here. I looked up in the dictionary what the word appropriate means, and it has two meanings. Well, it has three. I didn't understand the last one. It had to do with money, and it wasn't relevant. But number one is that something is suitable or proper in the circumstances. So suitable or proper are not words that creative people enjoy, right? So I want to play my music. Well, I don't want to be, dictated to. That said, there are, of course, conventions that we want to look at, rhythmic ideas that maybe make something sound more authentic. So I'm open to that. But the whole idea of appropriate rhythms, I hope, would have been a bit of a trick for you dropping by today, because I want to use the other meaning, which may not have been as obvious to you, which is appropriate. Appropriate. It means to take something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to steal some ideas, and we're going to use appropriated rhythms to play appropriate rhythms. It's a genius title. If I were here in a room for you, you would be giving me winks and pats on the back. But I can't see it all that well. So I can see a few smiles on the screen, though. So thanks for that. All right. So the number one thing we did here was define appropriate and appropriate. The second of three parts is the actual strategies themselves. And that's really the bulk of what I'm going to talk about today when we're looking for rhythms when we are improvising. Almost all jazz educators, myself included, spend a lot of time identifying notes that will fit the chords, the scales, the chord tones, the blue notes, the chromatic lead-ins, and the relative weight of the importance of each of those. That's important stuff as you drill down, past your initial entrance into improvisation and you want to get more detailed about it. I think the reason we don't teach a lot about rhythms is it's less clear how to make a straightforward approach to that. We can say that on an A minor 7 chord, A, C, E, and G are the chord tones, and those will sound good against the chord. But it's not as easy to say what rhythm will fit that. It's just more loosey-goosey, which is, for a rule follower, is a little off-putting, especially when you're new to improvising. But as you get more comfortable with it, having very few rhythmic restrictions, of course, is very freeing. Still, we need something to get started with, and that's what this is about. So the first of 10 that I hope to share with you is say it and play it. Some of you who've studied with me have heard this before. Say it and play it. That means that music reflects language, and that you can read the research about how it evolved in the language center of our brain and all that. Nobody really knows why we like music so much, but it seems to have something to do with our language centers. And that's why we can use the rhythm of language just to prompt an idea. So if I'm playing, I don't know, we'll go back to that minor blues, and I think to myself, how can I think of a rhythm? And this is what I often say to students in a live setting. What did you have for lunch? And they may say pizza. And so you might need to be more specific and ask for a complete sentence. I had pepperoni pizza is the best. So pepperoni pizza is the best. That's how it'll be said. You have to sort of add a pulse to that. Pepperoni pizza is the best. So I'm hearing 4/16 notes there. Pepperoni. Pizza is the best. Oh, pepperoni pizza. I had it for lunch. And the more nonsensical, if you're a teacher, the better, because it elicits giggles, right? So what you had for lunch, it can be important. And so, you can see that milk is not going to cut it. So what kind is it? Well, this is white milk. How much was in the cup? Oh, it was a half pint. Actually, it was chocolate milk. Half pint of chocolate milk. I got a half pint of chocolate milk, and I'm eating with my pepperoni pizza. I got a half pint. You get the idea. We're just randomly grabbing some pieces of language here from Say It and Play It. And if you can't think of what to say, just look around your room. I picked up this what is it? A mouse pad just a few minutes ago. And so life's too short to play the same solo twice. Improvise. So we got to pulsify that. Life's too short to play the same solo twice. Life's too short to play the same solo twice. I like that. Life's too short. Little pause. Life's too short to play the same solo twice. Life's too short to play the same solo twice. So, you just open your manual to your digital keyboard, look at directions, open a phone book. There's cool words everywhere. So think about words and then make them fit the music. Another thing I showed in last month's tip of the month, and I don't have any connection to this company or whatever, and these are available anywhere, the idea of scat syllables. And so you can generate your own scat syllables. That's a fun group activity if you're a teacher. But I just have this deck of cards that I got somewhere called scat cards, and they are just funny rhythmic things. So here it says snap, crackle, pop, chew. Snap, crackle, pop, chew, chew, be chew. Snap, crackle, pop, chew, chew, be chew. So I'm gonna have to force that into the rhythm. Snap, crackle, pop, chew, chew, be chew. Let's do another one. Yabba dabba doo. That's too Flintstonesy. Let's see. This one says flack, flack, foodie foo, biggie, biggie, boo, boo. Flack, flack, foodie foo, biggie, biggie, boo, boo. That one seems to take care of itself. So you get the idea. Say it and play it. It's always good to name a concept so you can hang on to it. So the first one there is say it and play it. Let's go now to the second one, which is to consciously mix note durations. Cerebrally do it, not playing from your heart for the moment. but just saying, I'm going to play longer notes and then less longer notes and then shorter notes. So maybe it's half, half, quarter, quarter, 8, 8, 8, 8. That would give us a square amount here. So I'm going to do that over a little chord progression here that I like this key and this sound. That I like to play this progression when I'm feeling calm or needing to calm down. It's just G, G over B, and then C, and maybe a D. G, G over B. And just in case you're thinking that's original, that's actually the progression of this. So it's been around a while. Now let's do this with that. So I'm going to play half, half, quarter, quarter, 8, 8, 8. I don't know the notes yet, but it doesn't matter for this session. And then I took a few liberties with it. I consciously said, I'm going to use some long notes and make them shorter. You don't have to do it in that order. You could throw in long notes in the middle and start shorter notes or whatever. I was just deliberate about it. I was focused on that as a strategy, and yet I'm still improvising, just using a strategy or a creative concept to inform my rhythmic choices, which was mixing note durations. So we've done say it and play it, consciously mixing note durations. The next one is a lot of fun. Same rhythm, new notes. Same rhythm, new notes. You're writing that down. That's what to write. So what you can do if you play a tune that has a cool characteristic rhythm in it, you just are sure to use that rhythm when you're abandoning the melody and doing your own soloing over the tune. One that comes to mind is the great Duke Ellington piece, Don't Get Around Much Anymore. So he uses the same rhythm 3 times. Ga ga dee ga doo ba. That's a very, characteristic jazz swing rhythm. And what we're talking about is broader strategies than a single style today, but that one is from the jazz idiom. You could find cool rhythms in Mozart, and I'll actually show you some in a minute. These are style independent of style, but nevertheless, taking his idea and those same chords, da-ba-dee-ba-doo-da is the original melody. So now it's my turn to solo. 1, 2, 3, and. Do-ba-doo-ba-zee-ba. And then that might even enter my bag of tricks for other tunes altogether. So I took the tune I was playing, Don't Get Around Much Anymore, took the rhythm from it, and reworked it. Obviously, this is not a great technique to use on something like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, which is 100% quarter notes, or Ode to Joy. Those aren't very rhythmically compelling pieces as well as good as they are for other purposes. So it's good if London Bridge is Falling Down at an elementary level. Dum, da, 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 has that neat dotted quarter in it. So I just played a London Bridge, rhythm, but I used it on another tune, which is the second half of the idea. So the concept we're looking at here is same rhythm, new notes, but you want to play the either the rhythm from the same tune or just inject it with the rhythm from another tune that has a cool rhythm that you like. Here's some ones that I was thinking about this morning, just putting this together. The Beatles tune, Day Tripper. That's a pretty neat rhythm. Ba, bo, ba, ba, dee, ba, 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 dee. It has those nice offbeats in it. So let's put that, let's try that against that minor blues we were playing earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. there isn't any way that the copyright police or Paul McCartney or anybody's going to know that I'm playing Day Tripper in my head, because all the notes are different and the groove's different and it's a different feel, but I'm borrowing that rhythm because it's a good one. You have a whole bunch of these rhythms you may not realize in your mind. A good one is the Entertainer. So what if we did that in a different environment? Let's do that with this blues. I'll go ahead and turn on the backing track. 1, 2, 3. How about this one? Everybody who's grown up in the United States, I think, has heard Turkey in the Straw, has that second half that goes. There it is. Zuda, buda, ba, zidu, buda. That is the coolest rhythm, right? So we're put that in this context and play Turkey in the Straw in our mind. So I abandoned the idea towards the end because I felt like I'd gotten enough mileage out of that. So that third one of 10 is same rhythm, new notes. Moving backwards, we also hit consciously mix note durations and then say it and play it. Okay, so the next part then is number 4 is I'm going to call before and after. Before and after. So start your melody with pickup notes that launch into the opening note, or delay it and come in a little after beat 1. So let's just think about that. So there's so many great tunes that start with pickup notes, and that's part of why it works. So here's one I love to demonstrate. Oh, when the saints do. Here is the pickup and a pickup. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, when there's the downbeat. So that brings me in, and that is the whole character of that tune. The Water is Wide is a tune I'm working on in this room with our family band. We're going to do an outdoor concert here in a couple of weeks, and we're putting that together with the whole family here. So let's think about that tune. It starts so beautifully. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pickup. You're set. That tune, because it has those pickups, launches it, you see, and you can do that with your own solo as well. So back to the A minor blues that for some reason is, well, I'll just change that up. I'll do this little C, E, F, G. So if I'm going to solo over that, let's do some pickup notes. A lot of times first-time improvisers just start on the downbeat. But we can go, and that launches it out. And I just wanted to note this. I'm looking at the Bach conventions here, and they have in the beginning here a little bit of the first melody of just a melody that has a reference that you can find your way around. This is interesting. How many of the 15 Bach conventions, 2-part inventions, start on beat 1? So I did a little survey this morning. 1, 2, 3. 3 out of 15 Bach starts on beat 1. So this is not a jazz trick. He either starts them with a pickup, as he does in this one. 1, 2, 3. Or most of the time he comes in afterwards. Let's think about what would happen if we didn't have pickups. Listen to this famous Beethoven song. 1, ready, go. So yeah, if we didn't have that piece, wouldn't have made it out of the starting gate there. Similarly, here's a little Mozart, right? So let's figure out what that would sound like without pickups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, it's nothing, and so it's benefits by his pickups. We're there. Now we've launched it. So pickup notes or coming in after beat 1 is a great trick, and I'm calling that before or after. Another related one is pushes, which are anticipations or delays. So you push a note a little before it's time. Let's go back to When Saints Go Marching In. That's right on the beat, right? All right, so what if we did that with playing that a little early? Sounds a little more like Louis Armstrong. Yeah, so that wow. Or let's delay it. Both of those bring a whole lot of character to a quarter note song by just pushing the target note or the main downbeat left or right a little bit. So that's 5 strategies so far. Let me give you 5 more easy ones here. Turn my drums up just a little bit. So check these. I'm going to look at the chat first. Loving the ideas. Thank you for speaking up there, Stephanie. Always inspirational, energetic. You just got fuzzy. Yeah, I don't feel too fuzzy this morning. I had coffee, but the camera thinks otherwise. Thanks for letting me know that. I was able to fix it because of that alert. Okay, so we've hit say it and play it, mixed note durations, same rhythm, new notes, before and after, pushes, which are anticipation delays. And by the way, if you're just joining us, I'm Bradley Sowash, jazz pianist and educator, and today we are talking about appropriate or appropriate rhythms. So another one is rhythmic displacement. Play an idea and then play it somewhere else. This is a cerebral way to launch your creativity, and once you do it thinkingly, it may come out intuitively. So let's just say we have the simplest little idea. Let's do C-A-G-A-C. And underneath that, I'm going to play that bass line I played earlier. C, E, F, G. And I'm going to put some backbeats in there, offbeats with my thumb. This is from a tune called Swing Out in my That's Jazz series, by the way, the bass line. But anyway, okay, so that was beat 1. 1, 4. Let's start it on beat 2 instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's do it on beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. You could also move them just by an eighth note. Check this out. On the beat, right after beat 1. 1 and 2. Oh, that really changed it. Let's do it after 2. 1, 1, 2. Oh, wow. 1, 2, and. So we took the same idea and moved it around the measure, displacing it just by starting the same lick in different places. We do this cerebrally, perhaps doing all quarter notes and then all eighth note in between beats as a way to build up an arsenal. I don't like that word, a collection of notes that I can, of rhythms that I can draw from. So that's called rhythmic displacement. One of the masters of that in jazz is Thelonious Monk. If you want to look into that, I'll save the examples for another time. Now, as we're going here, we're getting more sophisticated. Say it and play, it's a good starting point. I'm kind of making these a little bit more difficult. So the next one is odd numbered patterns. If you play 3-note patterns, the rhythm takes care of itself. So here's probably the most famous one. So it's a 3-note pattern, D, F, B flat. Which rhythmically is just a bunch of eighth notes. So in a way, we are rhythmically not doing much here, but because of the 3-note pattern, it fools with our ear. But you can do that with, so by repeating that, so let's take like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it makes a push against the expectations of the 4/4, organization, and that is pleasing or interesting or tension producing in a rhythmic way. So we've got 3 more style conventions. So know your styles. For example, a lot of jazz music ends on, especially bebop, it ends on the and after the phrase. You hear a lot of things like this. That's probably the origin of the word bebop. Bebop. That uplifted, often an up note on the and of the end of the phrase is part of the sound. And so just know your style. Similarly, Afro-Cuban music has some wonderful cliches, rhythmic cliches, such as, this would be, only the first 2 beats are on the beat. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, and you've heard this before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and So just locking into that. Now I'm going to sound just on a C6 chord. Very Afro-Cuban because it's part of that style. And you can grab these from any style. Classical music has it as well, like the famous Oompa Dooba. That kind of stuff. I guess that's more of a shape. So we got 2 more then. Mental practice. So one of the things that people do when they're trying to look for rhythms is they sit at their instrument and they think that somehow it's going to come out of their instrument. But of course, it comes from our mind. And somehow being at an instrument is not that conducive to our imagination. Rather, we want to bring our imagination to the instrument instead of ask it to provide us with the sound that we're looking for. So if you're learning a tune and you're out walking about, you can imagine that how you might like to hear it away from your instrument if you were a listener and just enjoying that. In our online jazz piano class right now, we are learning the Moon Glow. So maybe I'm out walking and I'm thinking, it must have been moon glow. It must have been moon glow. And then when I come back here, I have a little bit more of that to do. It must have been whatever, let your imagination percolate on these earworms when you're learning new tunes, when you are away from your instrument, so you can let them sort of enter your availability, your list of available rhythms. So my last one is to develop a bag. I can't demonstrate this one, but you want to put your favorites in your bag. Maybe you like a certain pattern or a certain rhythm. One of the ones I like is to start on the afterbeat and play triplets. I didn't make this up. It's just kind of one of those cool things. 1 to triplet. I'm just playing chord tones. So that's just in my bag. That's one I could rely on when I can't think of what else to play. So we developed that bag. So once again, that list, all 10 of them, is say it and play it. Consciously mixed note durations, same rhythm, new notes. Before and after, pushes, rhythmic displacement, odd number patterns, style conventions, mental practice, and develop your bag. And I'll get you out of here, but I just thought I'd leave you with a couple of parting tips. Number 1 is to use just 1 or 2 of these strategies. I gave you 10 strategies. That should be a lifetime worth of generating rhythmic ideas. So, don't go home and say, I'm going to do all 10 of these. If one of those grabbed you, grab that. And if another one appealed to you, try that and work it out a little bit and try to bring it into your playing for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And eventually it will go to my second parting tip, which is cognition to intuition. We get at this cerebrally. We get at this, thinking about it. And then that becomes intuition. I don't think intuition is just happens. When someone says you're a very natural player, very often it's started by thinking about it and being careful and deliberate, what I call noodling. And then goes to instinct or intuition, which I call kicking back. So from noodling is exploring and seeing what's out there in a thinking way. And then kicking back is letting it come out and see what happens, having seeded your hopper with ideas. My last parting tip is to play often with a simulated band. And so you can use the published backing tracks that come with your method books or play along books. Those are great. You can use iReal Pro, an app that I have been using in this class to demonstrate the backing tracks. You also may just have those drum machines and things on your keyboard. You want to pick up a swing beat or a rock beat or what have you. A lot of keyboards have those built in. You want to practice with those a lot because they're going to feed you some rhythmic ideas as well. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate being appreciated. Really helpful ideas. Very generous list. Okay, so I'm going to just wrap this up with a little more jamming and ramming and jam. If you need to go, that's fine. But I always like to play a little bit more, and I'll try to apply these ideas to this stuff here on the same blues. I want to make sure I use these, so I'm going to look at my list. Okay, play it and say it. Oh, life's too short to play the same solo. Improvise. And long, short, very short. Wow! So that was mixing no durations. Let's use same rhythm, new notes. Turkey in a straw. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And before and after. That's after. Let's play before. Let's do the anticipations and delays. I can't figure that one out without a tune on the fly. Rhythmic displacement. So starting the same lick at several places in the measures. All right, let's do odd patterns. Here's the 3. Let's do 5-note patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. I lost the beat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Style conventions ending on an upbeat. Mental practice. So do-dee-doo-wop, I'm away from my instrument. So-do-dee-dee-dee, I'm back to my instrument. Developing a bag, so that's one of my favorites. Now just let one chorus of fun. Oh, what was that? Oh yeah. So let me tag it. I'm Bradley Sowash, and until next time, enjoy your creative music making journey. Bye for now.